All right, we're going to come back to that topic later in the show, but now let's bring in tonight's panel, Sky News host Steve Price and Liberal MP Zoe McKenzie. Great to see you both here in Melbourne for once with
Welcome.
You. Now, the Prime Minister was caught out today playing tennis in Cottesloe, while the community and all Australians were horrified at this terror attack. Steve Price, can you believe he was playing tennis instead of addressing the nation on this important issue?
I was staggered that he stayed in Perth for the whole weekend. Forget the tennis. Even if he wasn't playing tennis, I couldn't understand why. This happened Friday morning, very early, as we know. He should have come straight back to Victoria and should have gone there on the Friday. But then he doesn't go there on the Saturday. Then you get 2 days of he doesn't even give a media conference, doesn't talk about it. And then when he was asked about playing tennis today, he said, I didn't play tennis on Sunday morning. And then someone said, what, we got it wrong, have we? But he then admitted that he was playing tennis in the afternoon for 2 hours. I mean, it's such a bad look. These people, and the Premier's no better, Jacinda Allen, they've just completely lost the plot. They don't get it.
Do you think it's his Hawaii moment, Zoe McKenzie?
Oh, look, he's had a few of these moments, I think, where he's just shown a real tone deafness, whether it's cost of living, pressures on families, pressures on small business, red tape, industrial relations, and now this. And may I say, this is one of now 3 really significant firebombing instances, but hundreds of other instances, people being attacked on the streets, hit on the streets, abused on the streets, eggs being thrown at them, being spat on in the city. There was plenty of evidence of a proper narrative, proper leadership being required in October of last year. Exactly. The fact that we're still here in December and there are days of silence. He didn't send out Richard Marles, the Deputy PM, he's just down the road. Didn't send out the Attorney General, he's even closer to the synagogue in question.
You know where the Premier was?
No one went.
In a pub on Sunday. She didn't go to that vigil. She was in Northcote in a hotel making an announcement about licensing laws.
The leadership is absolutely disgraceful. And you know, Melbourne, I think, we're seeing anti-Semitism everywhere. It feels like it's been particularly acute in this community. I think at least New South Wales Premier Chris Minns, his instincts are in the right place. Yes, we haven't had enough law enforcement action, but his heart's in the right place. He came out on the weekend and he said, well, we need to ban protests outside of synagogues. This is what I've been saying for such a long time. You can't just protest people.
Well, Jacinda Allen said tonight that she won't even introduce a permit system to stop people marching. You recall, as you reported at the time, that march past a synagogue in Sydney was denied a permit and they changed the route. She was asked again tonight, will you put in a permit system to stop pro-Palestinian marches carrying Palestinian flags, shouting out from the river to the sea? No.
It's the most basic thing that should be done. Look, I want to turn to another couple of stories that are around today. We will come back to this. I've got James Patterson on the show a bit later, plus Israel's anti-Semitism envoy. So I'm going to have full coverage tonight. But we are seeing reports in the Herald Sun today about just how much the controversial First Nations People Ambassador is costing. Now, we already know that the salary is nearly $800,000. But, Steve, now we've got this report that DFAT is also awarding a consultancy firm more than $250,000 to help develop a policy strategy.
And this follows that ambassador's travel, which was, I think, $145,000 worth of business class airfares around the world, talking about a separate Indigenous foreign policy that apparently we're going to introduce. I mean, since when do we have an Indigenous foreign policy? Peter Dutton, I think, Zoe, has said he's going to scrap it, hasn't he?
Not that I've seen today necessarily, but that would be a logical investigation to make. That, together with the other $316 billion of additional funding that have contributed to 36,000 additional public servants in Canberra, it's quite a long list of expenditure that we need to start with if ever we get back into government in Canberra.
Zoe, maybe Peter Dutton needs to announce an Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy style Doge.
Well, I think he's already
government efficiency.
To be fair, everything that he came out and said on the weekend that this government needed to do, they've actually gone and done just 4 days too late. So, again, it's Peter's leadership on the weekend saying we need to have an anti-Semitism task force. We need to look at whether we should take away visas for people who have committed anti-Semitic acts. I was recently in India with a bunch of German politicians. They actually take away citizenship if it's been found that somebody committed a grave anti-Semitic act. So, again, Peter is leading the debate and the Prime Minister is come slowly up behind.
Who's our Elon Musk? Who we're going to make Dog boss.
We'd have to work out who should be appointed to it, but it's a good idea.
It's a fantastic idea.
Because the public service is bloated. It's costing
36,000 extra since Albanese was elected.
Yeah, it's costing, and the
Doing
budget
what?
blowout's already intense.
I know. It's
It makes
crazy.
sense.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.